Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Financial Fitness Friday. And this is actually going to be a little preview of a podcast I'm going to do. And the reason why I wanted to go over the Michael Saylor strategy this morning is because when me and Dave were talking prior, he's never heard of it before. Okay. And this is a game changer. It's something that I have personally done, both personally and in my business. All right. And so Michael Saylor is the CEO of Microsystems, okay, or MicroStrategy Systems. And he understands that the dollar is actually losing value at a very, very, very rapid pace. Sorry, guys, I wanted to make sure that the door was closed so we weren't getting the background noise. So Michael Saylor realized that the dollar is losing value. And so as a big company, okay, that has a lot of cash on hand or that needs a corporate treasury, for you to be sitting on, let's say, $1 million or $2 million or $3 million, because some companies need that type of working capital in their bank at all times. And some companies need tens of millions or hundreds of millions. Okay. The problem is when you know that the value of the dollar is going down, okay, you're actually losing money holding that much cash. Like you're losing purchasing power, you're losing buying power. And there's a better way to do things. So I'm going to get into that better way. All right. So that primarily what Michael Saylor has done is he has built himself a corporate treasury out of Bitcoin. Okay. And so the two ways he's been doing it, and I'm going to explain, there's many ways you can do it. Most of us, especially small business owners, cannot do what Michael Saylor did. But what Michael Saylor is doing is he's issuing stock and he's issuing bonds, okay, to raise cash. And then he's taking that cash, buying Bitcoin and holding it into a corporate treasury. I actually think he has something ridiculous like 1% of the Bitcoin supply. All right. And so what this is doing is he's holding it on his balance sheet. So as Bitcoin has gone from, I think he started this at 20,000 or 30,000 a coin, and now it's at 103,000 a coin. His company has grown in value leaps and bounds. Okay. And now his company is also getting tied to the value or the fluctuations in Bitcoin. All right. And so let's look at this. I think it's a genius move. Okay. I think he is well ahead of the curve, and he's actually been teaching other companies to do it. Now, what else is going on here, right? You have New Hampshire that just approved Bitcoin, the first state just approved Bitcoin to be held in a state treasury. Okay. So now you're going to start seeing states adopt this, right? And it could actually make it where they try to make it, and I don't want to say the reserve currency, but it's certainly going to be a reserve asset that everyone is going to want to own at least some of. All right. Now, how does that impact you and what can you do? All right. Well, personally, you can buy Bitcoin every week. It could be one of those investments and you just sit on it. Okay. Now, keep in mind, Bitcoin has vicious 4-year cycles. Okay. So at 3 of those years, it's usually going up, 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 up. And then 1 year, it's usually crashing way down. But overall, the chart is growing like that. Okay. When you take out all the noise, you can just see it's one of the fastest growing assets of all time. All right. So what I would say is it's a pretty safe bet, right? It's not a safe bet if you need it, if you're going to invest today and you need it tomorrow. It's a safe bet in the sense that if you buy it on a weekly, daily, monthly basis and you hold it for longer than 4 years, you're going to come out way ahead. All right. So from a personal standpoint, you can buy it, hold it, and get in the game that way. From a company standpoint, I'm going to give you guys the playbook that I ran and I am running. You can open up a corporate account on Gemini. All right. You can open up a corporate account, and whatever it is a week, you put it up on auto buy. So if it's 500 a week or 1,000 a week, you keep putting it in, and then you take that money that's on the platform and you put it into a hard wallet. You never look at it again until you need it. And then if you do need money, or the need for liquidity arises, meaning you need cash, okay, you can always take that Bitcoin and borrow against it. You don't have to sell it. You can borrow against it. Why would you want to borrow against it as opposed to selling it? Well, if you sell it, you're going to have taxable income. If you borrow against it, you get all the cash that you would have got by selling it for the most part. But
don't you also avoid gas fees and stuff too when you borrow?
No, any type of transaction is going to have fees. Gotcha. Gas fees aren't really going to come into play. Gas fees are on the Ethereum network,
or transaction,
not the Bitcoin network. Mm-hmm. All right, but that's kind of inconsequential. It's small, right?
Right.
However, the reason you're going to borrow against it is because now you're paying a loan back, and that loan, the interest is a write-off. Okay, so you can still have access to the cash and own the coin. All right. So think about this. If you started this 3 years ago, okay, and maybe, for just depending on how aggressive you are with it, if you put $100,000 in 3 years ago, that could actually probably be worth about 300,000, 400,000 today. All right. So it is a very, very, very smart strategy long term, both personally and from a business standpoint. All right. And it's pretty simple to do. You just need the discipline to do it. And if you heard us talk on Financial Fitness Friday for any amount of time, especially if you go back years, you guys would have heard me say, this is something you guys should probably buy, this and hard assets. And if you look at all the hard assets, real estate is all-time highs right now. Gold, all-time high. Bitcoin, all-time high, right? Everything that I said years ago is playing out as we see it today. All right. So there's still opportunity there. There's still a way to make this work. And I do think it's a very, very smart strategy because overall, the dollar loses more and more purchasing power every single year. All right. Now, maybe some things Trump does brings that purchasing power back. Maybe he fails there. But you know what? Having that as a secondary asset, okay, in a personal setting and a business setting is not a terrible, terrible place to be in. Gives you a lot of flexibility. Does that make sense?
Yeah, man.
So Dave, what questions do you have on that? I know that's a little unusual for a Financial Fitness Friday. But
no, like just even paging through some of this stuff through him, through MicroStrategy, his company, the dude's smart. He's an MIT graduate. You know what I mean? So to be able to incorporate tech with financial savvy, you know what I mean? It's awesome. Mm-hmm. Like one of the questions I have, and this is pretty interesting, and just kind of thinking from a business standpoint, going back to where you said, hey, you guys might not be like micro strategy level. But it's interesting to look here how his company, it's almost like he's double dipping. Like, am I correct to say that? He's getting paid tons of money like by holding Bitcoin. And then it seems like his company on the stock exchange is worth a lot of money in paper too, right?
Yeah. Well, he is. He's making it on both sides, right? And not just that, like the stock price has gone up substantially. By the way, Tesla did this.
Yeah.
Okay. Tesla did this. There's a bunch of different companies that are doing this, and Saylor goes around teaching this strategy. Now, here's the difference, right? Here's the big difference. Your average mom and pop business can't go sell bonds to raise debt, okay? They can't sell stock to raise debt, okay? However, what you can do is if you know that you keep a running surplus, right? Let's just say that you're $1 million business and you expect net profits of 200,000 a year, right? I'm not telling you to put all your profit into it, but you could take $100,000, spread that out over the course of 12 months, which is only like $8,300 a month, and put $8,300 a month into Bitcoin. Okay. And then you just pull that off and you put it in a hard wallet. And now that is your corporate treasury, your corporate reserve. Okay. And
But is that also, that's also a tax play too, right?
I don't know how you would consider this a tax play.
Well,
because you're not, listen, you're selling, you're buying it with cash and then you're holding it.
gotcha.
There's no taxable event there.
Right.
The taxable event happens when you sell it.
Right.
Okay. What I told you guys earlier is you don't really sell it. Okay. You borrow against it, pay it back. Borrow against it, pay it back. So the way we're teaching you how to do this, there really shouldn't be, it shouldn't be a taxable event.
Mm-hmm. To throw you one more thing here, just from looking this up, and this was as of May 5th, allegedly MicroStrategy owns 555,450 Bitcoins.
Yeah.
That's insane, man.
At 103 a pop.
That's wild.
Okay. So think about how much he is up.
Billions.
Okay. Billions. It's got to be one of the best all-time futuristic plays that we've ever seen. Right.
That's wild.
And here's the thing, anyone can do it. You just had to know to do it. I've been doing it. You know, and I've told you guys that. Like, I'm not shy about it. Like, I've been doing this. This is what I've been doing for years and years and years and years. Right. And I think I don't think the ship has sailed. Okay. I don't think the ship has sailed. You could still do this. It's still better than cash. Would I put everything I own into it? No. Okay. You got to be smart. You got to diversify. But this is actually a very, very good, a good strategy.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think it will go anywhere, man. I think as long as paper currency, the FDIC still exists, or that house of cards, like, I don't see this going.
No, dude, as long as we have central banks, we're going to have crazy inflation.
Yeah.
This is how to protect against that.
Yeah. I don't see any of this shit going anywhere, man. It's pretty wild. Make me want to open Exodus right now and see what's going on.
Yeah. Well, listen, what I'll do is if you want the link to Gemini where you guys get money and I get money just because you guys signed up, you let me know. I'll send it to you. We both get $75. Not that that's going to make one bit of difference to me, but it's a good starting point. And I would tell you, I know that out of all the platforms, corporate does. Gemini is the only one that I found that has a corporate or business setup too.
Sweet.
All right. So gave you guys some really good game. You guys should share the shit out of this one. Appreciate you. We'll catch you on the next one.
Be great, y'all.